Hi everyone, it's Alicia with the In Crowd here. Today I am joined with sorry. Today
Sure.
I'm joined with Days to Waste. And yeah, today, October 18th, you released your new single. How does it feel to have it out? All that
Good.
good.
Yeah, it feels good. It's been in the works for a while, and I've been like, I don't know, I've been my main kind of while working on music has just been like getting good mixes. I want my mixes to sound good and practicing that a lot. And yeah, I've remixed this song 100 times, and it's I'm happy to have it out.
So obviously, I really enjoyed the song. I think it's very well done and everything, and the lyrics sound very personal.
Mhm.
So you kind of want to talk about the meaning behind the song or inspirations or anything like that.
Well, obviously, I think all of my songs are like pretty decently personal. It's always coming from a personal place. But as far as the meaning goes, I never really dig too deep into that as far as like, giving out the secrets
Mhm.
of everything. But obviously it talks about, relationships and past people. And I feel like that's what I talk about a lot in my songs is kind of what I'm going through now and what I went through and how I'm dealing with it. And making music in itself is like dealing with it in a way, So yeah, this one was a kind of a mix of like how I'm feeling now and how I used to feel and the contrast between my life how it was, my life how it is now.
So when working on a song, do you usually start with the lyrics? Do you start with, mixes, production, a sound? Kind of what's your process? You don't have to dig too deep and give away all your secrets, but is it different every time, or do you like get an idea? Like, what's your process like?
There's never like one single process, So sometimes it's like I'll grab my acoustic guitar, sit down and write an entire song and then make that song into a production. But a lot of the times recently it's been I just make a cool instrumental and then I create the lyrics afterwards. And sometimes I have a chorus and then I build off of that. Sometimes I have one verse and I build off of that. And so yeah, it's never one thing. This song in particular, I think was built from an instrumental and then I wrote lyrics over it. But all of my songs are kind of written in their own way and come about in their own way.
The song's called "Wait for Me." I don't think we said that, but the song
Mhm.
is called "Wait for Me." It's available to stream now, so
Mhm.
everyone go give that a listen. Your song before this, I believe, was called "Lilac." So when
Mhm.
creating music, do you try and change up your sound, or like can you still have like connection or like similar sounds in each song, or do you try to change it up every single time?
I don't really think about that too much. I recycle melodies all the time and I recycle chord progressions and instrumentals. And I think from a personal standpoint and people listening, every song is kind of unique in its own place. And I feel like the industry nowadays is so battling with who has the more unique song. And I feel like that's the thing now, and everybody is trying to make different things. And I don't necessarily feel the need to like branch out and like, oh, I'm gonna make this type of sounding song or this type of sounding song. Because I feel like the way it sounds, my music in particular, definitely has a sound. It's very, I don't know if proprietary is the right word, but like it's very like it sounds like a Days to Waste song, and I don't really try and make a song sound super different from my last one because I just like making music and as long as I think it sounds good and it feels good to me when I listen back to it, I think that's all that matters.
I have a cat that's trying to enter the. Hi. Okay. Hey. Okay. So you recently went on tour back in August. Was
Mhm.
this your first tour? Have you been on
Mhm.
tour before? So what was that like? Was it like nerve-wracking? Was it exciting? Was it both? What was that experience like?
It was amazing. The experience was amazing. It felt like the longest thing in my life, yet like the shortest thing in my life at the same time. Yeah, it was awesome. Traveling and meeting all these people and getting to perform and it was incredible. It was very fun.
Um, did you think you like made some Days to Waste fans on the tour? Like you think like you were able to draw some people in, maybe who hadn't heard of you before? Or did you get to meet some people who have been following you for a while? Like was that like a really cool experience?
Yeah, all of the above. I met some people who were like, "Man, I didn't know who you were." and now I do, and I've made fans, and I think the craziest part was meeting people who have been like listening to my music because it's all been over the internet, you know, it's all been like people messaging me and like seeing those people face to face is it's so much different because it's much more personal, you know, and I get like crazy imposter syndrome, you know, because when I'm talking to these people, it's almost like an out of body experience because like I'm like crazy, like how could something that like I've made or I wrote or you know like impact you or like how do you like it that much? Like I don't even know you. You know, it's a really interesting feeling, and I'm so grateful for it. So grateful for the people who listen to my music and come out and like see me play. It's awesome.
Speaking of the internet, obviously social media, everything has played a big role. Okay, you need to go downstairs. Sorry, I'm cat sitting, and so
That's
I'm.
okay.
um, internet has played a big role in social media. How have you been able to use that to your advantage to promote your music and get your name out there and build connections with fans?
I'd say 100% that's what I've used, you know. Not really any of my music other than like showing my friends has been outside of social media. It's a very necessary tool. And personally, I am really bad at it because I'm not a huge fan of like I don't know, posting all the time or like getting likes or all that kind of stuff. But it's absolutely necessary, and I like making art and you know putting it out for people to see, and I try and do that as much as possible. But it's hard being like everyone go listen to my song, you know, because I don't know. I want people to like it, and I want people to find it without feeling like it was fed to them. I don't know.
Who would you say are biggest inspirations music wise? Like, who are the artists that you really looked up to or you draw inspiration from, whether it be lyrically, musically, production wise? Who are your biggest inspirations?
I have a list here of all of my favorite albums.
Mhm.
If I can find them. The beginning of like kind of how I got into music, which was through like or through like getting into the music that I make is definitely through like the Warp Tour scene, you know, and I found artists like Say We Can Fly and Never Shall Never and this artist called Catching Your Clouds. And I remember being very drawn into the acoustic side of things because I felt like the acoustic side was something that I could do by myself. Like I wouldn't need like a whole band or people around me to help me make stuff. I could just do it by myself. And so I found those artists, This Wildlife, Say We Can Fly, all those solo acoustic emo artists, and then kind of branched out into the underground scene back when it was like what it was called in like 2018, 2019 with like, you know, Lil Peep, Nothing Nowhere, Gucci High Waters. I found all those people. And I guess in that I found a scene where I could thrive, you know. I was like, oh, I could definitely like I can make this kind of music. Like this is something that I feel like I have the ability to do. And it was also just kind of like it was where emo had kind of like grown into was like the underground SoundCloud. Yeah, so definitely like Nothing Nowhere, old bands like not I guess they're not old, they're still going, but like a while ago back in like 2015, like This Wildlife, Say We Can Fly, and a bunch of emo bands like Sleeping with Sirens and Picturesque and Too Close to Touch. So a lot of different places.
Definitely have been a lot of those. Too Close to Touch, especially, has been like a band I've been listening to for definitely a long time,
Yeah, rest in peace, Keaton.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so you mentioned Marissa, your inspirations. Outside of those, who would be like maybe anyone you would, if you were to collab with someone you would really want to collab with on whether it just be working on a song together, a feature, whatever that route may be.
Yeah, I think Nothing Nowhere is a big one. I get a lot of comments being like, "Oh, you should collab," and I think we have a
Yeah.
similar sound, a similar vibe. So definitely Nothing Nowhere. The collab with Say We Can Fly. I remember a long time ago, he was always like my dream collab, and then we made a song in 2019. Um, Who else? Can't really think of anyone off like the top of my head without actually thinking. But I mean, any band from like my childhood would be super, super sick.
Okay. What if, okay, what are like in 5 to 10 years, what would your dream be? Like where are you like manifesting you do or get to go or accomplish or just your biggest dream out there in like 5, 10, 15 years?
I would love to become a producer and a recording artist, I guess. I I've been in the studio with this amazing producer called Justin Abel, and he's absolutely incredible. I was recently in there with him working on a different project, and I think I definitely see myself in, 5, 10 years working and making music with other artists and producing for other artists, and because I just love the music making side of things. Yeah, I would love to become a producer.
When people listen to your music or first find your whatever, is there like a certain message or idea you want them to take away from your music, or you want everyone to have their own experience, or you want to be able to connect with it? Like when people listen to Days to Waste, what do you hope they take away?
Um, Man, a good song, I feel like because I speak so personally, I try my best to keep it vague enough to the point where it's like it's not something that other people can't listen to and can't relate to. So I love the fact that I can make a song that I relate to so much and that means so much to me, but it can mean something totally different to somebody else. Yeah, just personal connection. I feel like that's what I kind of thrive on, is like people listening to my music and just feeling very personally connected to it.
Are there any like projects, or you mentioned you're working on that project with Justin? Anything people should keep an eye out for maybe next year or later this year that people can be looking forward to? Without, you don't give anything away, but just if you want to hit that something or anything.
Oh, absolutely. I'm working. The idea of working on a record is floating around, and definitely have some plans for that for next year. Is making a whole album.
Awesome. Anything else you want to mention, throw out there, promote? Wait for me. You got your socials. Anything else you want to talk about?
Um, Days to Waste on all platforms. If you listen to my music, thank you. Uh, Give it a shot. Yeah. Everyone have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.